And the gasket, install the new stator. We're going to put it on here dry and make sure that when it turns over that it doesn't scratch anything up. Okay. I'm going to put the that thing on. We're going to see if it turns lightly, and then we'll take all this off, put some gasket sealer on it, tighten everything correctly, and then see if it fires over. We're going to double gasket it because it's still turning a little rough. Okay. Alright. Hit it so people see that it has some life. Turn it. It lives. Alright, so we did oil filter, which are these two bolts right here, 8mm each. Pull the oil filter out, put it in. We put the crush washer in. We got the spark plug back in. Getting the battery on, and we're going to see if it starts. We're going to pour some gas in there and go from there. Alright, so today, let's remove the carb and give it a good cleaning. I'll use that bolt back there. It's probably on the other side. Let's see. Let's see. There it should be. Just got an 8mm. Pull it off. That is an 8. Okay. Too big. Alright, what the hell? Now that we've loosened it, let's wiggle it back and forth. There it is. Go to the other side now. Take off the throttle and choke from the top. We got this here. So I got a boot up there. Gotta remove the top one for the throttle cable. I'm gonna do that real quick. Just gonna loosen throttle. It'll come out with the whole plunger. Spring. Gasket for the top. Just gonna remove it. Okay. Of course, this little slide goes to that bolt down here, which is your idle adjust. So we're going to put it back in this way later on. But for right now, we'll pull that out. Okay, next we got to do throttle cable. Or throttle cable, next we got to do choke cable right here. So I'm going to grab a pair of pliers or find the correct wrench. I'll let you guys know what that is and pull that off. So I'm using an adjustable wrench because apparently my dad doesn't believe in metric.
I don't know.
Doesn't have any. Now I'm going to pull out the choke cable, which I'm going to need 2 hands for. So, cool, just one. Okay. Now you gotta get rid of that gas line down there. Connects to it, which will be off to the side here. So pull it off using the pliers and take off the whole carb. There it is. So I'm going to open up the float bowl and see what's playing around inside there. Do smell gas though, so that's a little weird. So I'm going to start by removing the bowl with these 4 Phillips screws. Come off pretty easy, which makes me believe that someone at some point has gone into this carb. I'm going to try to save the gasket underneath this bowl too. But I do have parts coming along the way in case something's broken. But yeah, a lot of these bolts are like easy to... I say that now. Easy to remove. Usually you have to fight with them. Not too bad. Kind of filthy in there. I have to clean all that out. Try to save the gasket as best I can. Reuse it later. Cool. I'll put all my bolts in there for now, so I'll have to clean that. And seems as if the float is pretty good. So we're going to take out the main jet. I don't actually know all these stuff. Main jet, but basically pull all this stuff out and get down to the basic carb. And with this one, we're going to need a flathead. Pulling out the main jet here. Yep. Ooh, filthy. Real filthy. Plastics out. Remove the plastics. Keep the metals together. What I'm going to try to do here is release the main jet. Seems to be stuck on there, but I'll try to get it off. Gotta get a bigger flathead. Bigger one. Okay. That was stuck in there pretty good. Alright, let's pull this out. That's the main jet top screw. It's the insides. As you can see, there's not a lot of light going through there. That is extremely dirty. So, metal again. There, metal. Now, okay. This, I believe, is your fuel screw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it in first. See how many turns. So, I'm going to need a smaller screwdriver now to get to it. All these screwdrivers. So as I said, I was going to count turn in, but it looks like it's already turned in all the way. So it's a little weird. I have to consult the book later and see how many turns it's supposed to be out, but if anything, I'll do like a 2 turns or a turn and a half. A little weird why it was turned all the way in. It's not supposed to be like that. That could be why our fuel wasn't getting into the cylinder. I believe it's called the fuel mixture screw. Something like that. I'm not really 100% sure. I'm not too, I know how to do carbs. I'm not really familiar with all the parts in the carb. But if this was a fuel mixture screw, then we know exactly why I wasn't getting fuel to the bowl. Because it tightened in all the way. Alright. So next screw, I'm not really sure what this is, but it's tightened all the way down. It seems like someone's tried to get into this one before. So I'm going to pull this out. Pretty much just put it back in the same way when I go get it. So let's go to that. What's in here? Oh, it's also looking hecka dirty down there on the bolt holes. So I'll have to clean that as well. Now we're going to pull out the floats. So with these, there's a pin. You just got to push this pin and try to get it out as best you can. And then basically what happens is the bolt will slide out, releasing the floats. Pull that out. The floats are released. So in the middle piece I gotta clean. Float bowls will be released. It's a metal tag that you could adjust the float. So it sits there in gas, it can oscillate. Also the piece that fell in here is a pin that sits on and it, I guess, isolates on it or topples over it. So to clean that as well. So that's basically the base of the carburetor. Now we can go to a, well, I'll actually remove the idle screw, or I'll tighten it and see how many turns it is. So, half a turn, 1 turn. Should go back. See how many turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 turns for the idle adjustment. And the 1 spring, which is dirty as heck as well. And that's a whole carb take apart. We're gonna go clean it now. And I'll be back when this is done. Thank you to the boys and girls at Albertson Marine for helping me use their pressure cooker to cook the carb nice and clean. So thank you. If you have any boating needs, these guys are the people to see. So I've put everything back together, the main jet, the fuel one, which I actually went all the way down, and then went back 2, so that should get fuel. The little pin here that goes with the float bowls, so it can bounce up and down. Put the gasket on. I'm just gonna put the bolt back on and put it on the quad and see if it starts. Alright, so when you're putting the throttle cable on, remember that corner piece, that slotted one, is supposed to go in against that idle screw in there. And that needle has to fit in that hole. So you're gonna have to use your fingers to kind of dab it in there. That's what we gotta do first. I'll show you when that's done. Now that this is screwed on, the way we check that that flow works is hit the throttle lever up here. Make sure that goes up and down. And it does. Perfect. Next, we're gonna get the choke screw that's down here next to it. I'll show you when that's done.